We must take the precious from the hobbit thing. Hello and welcome to my review of the Lord of the Rings. Not this Lord of the Rings, this Lord of the Rings. So this film is directed by Ralph Bansky, one of my favorite directors of all time. And as you know, it's a bit of a tradition for me to always review a Ralph Bansky film on the last day of animation domination. So I decided to pick Lord of the Rings for this one. And there's going to be a lot of comparisons between Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and Ralph Bansky in this review, so you might get into some spoilers if you haven't seen either films. Just warning you about that now. Let's get started. Let's go with the voice acting. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Yeah, the voice acting, again, I've said this a lot. I do not know who voices them. I am sorry. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I don't know who voices them, so I can't match up their face with that voice. But I feel like the voice acting is fine. I feel it's fine, you know, all the voices feel like they would fit. Except, you know what, no, that's probably more of a writing error. I'll talk about that later. The direction. Ralph Bansky does a phenomenal job with the tone and the cinematography in this film. The tone feels very Lord of the Rings-ish. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. I feel like Peter Jackson might have taken a lot from these films. Maybe he did, I don't know, but hey, it felt like the Peter Jackson films, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, it feels like the Peter Jackson films. The cinematography is great most of the time. There aren't as many good shots in this as there are in Peter Jackson's, but yeah, it's still pretty good cinematography. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Let me get to the writing. Again, where most movies, especially actually I should talk about the animation. The animation looks great. Ralph Bansky's animation always looks realistic, and I especially love how he uses rotoscope. I am a huge fan of rotoscope animation. I'm so glad he uses it. Yeah, so really, I'm glad he uses rotoscope. Let me move on to the story, where the story can kill or make or break a film. So this is when the spoilers are really going to start to come out. Okay, so let me talk about Frodo. I actually feel Ralph Bansky pulled off the better Frodo in this film because, I mean, Frodo, even though I'm a huge fan of Elijah Wood in those movies, Frodo is a bit more weak, like when the Nazguls are coming for Frodo. In this one, he actually tries to fight back, while in the other one, he drops his sword, which is kind of stupid. Now, Sam. Sam is horrid in this movie. He is awful. He's a bumbling idiot, and he's not as good as in the Peter Jackson film. I mean, really, he's not. No comparison. Jackson wins there. I mean, really, he's just so stupid. And, let me move on to Aragorn, or Aragorn. I could pronounce both ways, but I'm just going to go Aragorn. Aragorn, I feel like he's better in this film than he is in the other ones. I mean, he seems more kingly and less of a ranger. He really does. He seems like he could be a king and a ranger. While in the other one, Viggo Mortensen, again, I love Viggo Mortensen, but he seems like he'd be a lot more ranger than king. So, yeah. And all the other characters, I feel they're a bit more forgettable. Like Merry and Pippin, they're not as memorable as they were in the Jackson films, and most of the characters aren't. But hey, you know, that's not that big a flaw, because I'm not going there for it. I'm going there to see the story played out. Now, one thing that we really have to compare is that Lord of the Rings is known for its big action scenes, and these films both have phenomenal action scenes. Now, I should express that the animated Lord of the Rings, again, spoiler if you have not seen the films, ends at where Two Towers ends, when Gollum is about to send them to the giant spider, which Gollum I do have to talk about. Andy Serkis is better. There's not much comparison. Andy Serkis is the perfect Gollum. But yeah, there's not much comparison there. But the fight scenes in these films are both phenomenal. I feel like the Jackson fight scenes are a bit better because I got something on my nose. I'm gonna sneeze here in a second. But yeah, the Jackson films have a lot better fight scenes than the Bansky films, and you can tell. But Bansky has a lot more blood and it's more gritty than the others. I'm going to give this film a B+. It is not Bansky's best, but it's a pretty good film. You should definitely check it out. Please like, favorite, and subscribe for more reviews.